You always hear a lot of people like they go through all this shit and all this heartache and everything, and it's like for a reason, and they never know why, right? You never know why this has happened to you.
Right.
But I'm a strong believer of the saying, everything happens for you, not to you.
Amen.
Right? So like that previous relationship happened for me to enjoy what I have right now. You know what I mean?
All right. Welcome back to another episode of The Real Deal Podcast with Mr. Cleon Deal.
Happy to be back, baby. Happy to be back.
Welcome back. And myself, Brandon Haley. And as you can see, I'm the only one that is in the holiday spirit today. And we're going to preface on this episode too. Cleon got a new chair.
I did.
Finally,
Hopefully
we're
like
kind of matching, but I put it together.
Thanks for that, by the way.
If he falls, this is not my strong suit, just so we know.
We don't have workers' comp here either.
Yeah, we don't. But we do have a very, very special episode today with the one, the only, Mr. Josh Reyes.
What's up, boys? Appreciate you guys having me, man. It's good to see you boys again.
Thanks for being here,
good
man.
to see you again and again.
And again.
So, we known JR for a little while.
Yeah.
And we all met selling life insurance. And today's episode, we're going to get into some good personal development stuff. But we did start at AIL with Mr. Reyes. We were there for a few years. I was there about 4.5 years. You came, a little bit?
I was there 6 years.
6 years, yeah. So my man was there for a long time.
Working, baby.
Yeah.
And, we like to talk about relationships in our podcast and our episodes. And we're probably not going to spend too much time on relationships on this one, but who knows? But, one of the things that we've talked about before and that we learned the hard way is JR learned the hard way too. And that's relationships in the workplace. What are your thoughts about relationships in the workplace, JR?
I'll tell you what, I'll be real, man. Don't recommend it at all. I don't recommend it at all.
But
it's
why?
just a bad idea, man. You just can't mix the two together, man. Because down the road, eventually, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people out there that make it happen. You know what I mean?
Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to them. They're partners and they're very successful. But when two people are on the different page, different mindset, different places in life, and you mix that with the business, it gets ugly on both sides.
So you did that one time before, right?
One time before. Yeah.
Just once?
It only takes one time.
Just shout out to you because we had to do it. We had to do it a few times just to make sure.
a couple of times. Can you don't have to go like too in detail, but can you tell us like how that relationship at work formed and how it ended?
Yeah, so I was a personal trainer at LA Fitness.
Yeah,
LA Fitness. I was personal training there, and then I got recruited into the life insurance world. And
like we all do.
Right, yeah. And there was great vibes, great energy. Everybody was young, good looking, so I was like, all right, this seems like a good spot for me to set up shop, right? So
Wolf of Wall Street.
Right, yeah. So I was like, all right, and then I saw a lot of people making money, driving nice cars. I was like, all right, let's see what this is about, because it ain't happening where I'm at. So jumped all in, and then obviously when you're around with a lot of good-looking people for a long amount of time. I mean, they were 12, 14-hour days, right?
Yeah, right.
Like 5-6 days a week. So
a lot of time for bad things to happen.
Yeah, it's just like these people become your family, and I was single at the time and just living the single bachelor life, and and when somebody catches your eye, you kind of just go for it, and you don't really care who they are or what position they hold or whatnot.
She did hold a high position,
right?
In the company as well.
So. So I mean, did
that play a factor in your choice of?
It benefited. So, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a benefit, So, but jumped all in there, and obviously everything's rainbows and unicorns for the first month or two,
right?
And then you just start seeing a different side, a different mindset, and just it gets ugly down the road, man. And when you're trying to mix the two together, it's like water and oil, man. It just ain't never gonna happen.
Because once you see like who they really are, but you actually have to work with them, and then it's kind of like they're kind of your boss too.
Right.
It's like,
right. And
I can't say the wrong thing at work, or I can't say the wrong thing at home because of our relationship at work.
Exactly. So exactly. And there's never turning it off. You know what I mean? Like work becomes personal now, and business, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's when do you guys, there's no boundary, there's no border. If there's no respect for each other, then it ain't gonna work, man. You know what I mean? And then when you see that person treat other people bad too, you know what I mean? So then it's like, first of all, that's just not, this is not the person that I want to be with. But now I'm already so invested. And then to the point where now my future with the business would be in jeopardy, you know, however this turns out. So it's like, all right, where do I stand with that now?
I know you're big and strong, but don't break the mic.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Monkey hands.
So how did that relationship end, and how did that lead you to the current one that you're in now? Because you are currently engaged, right?
Yes, sir. Happy. Let's go. Very happy, man. So
not only are you engaged too, but he is also a girl dad.
Oof, rich baby daddy gang in the building, baby.
That dad gang right now. Come on.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations on that.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
But yeah, how did that, that one ending kind of lead you to the one you're in now? And then, ultimately, being engaged and becoming a father?
Yeah. So, it was a couple of years. I would say maybe 3 to 4 years that I was in that toxic relationship with business and personal life. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was in a dark place at that time. You know what I mean? Obviously with what we were doing, it was very customer service. So like you always had to put that smile and put that mask on.
Right.
But there was a lot of days that I didn't want to fucking do it, bro. You know what I mean? That person sucked so much life out of me that it was very hard to show up, but again, something that I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit, but the discipline that I had, just kept pushing. Because I saw what people were getting out of this opportunity. So I was like, I know I don't need this person to get that. I just got to deal with this person.
But you know what I mean? The vehicle in that opportunity provided a lot of upside for sure.
Right, for sure. So, after a while, bro, as a human, and as a man, you can only take so much, torture and beat downs and this and that. So, I made a decision. I was either going to be done with it, or I was going to move to another state or another city or whatever I had to do to
get out of
myself from that situation, because it was just so toxic. So, luckily an opportunity came where I could go to a different location and kind of start fresh from there and everything. And I took it, and thankfully it worked out and like I completely shut off everything from the past. And I was able to just focus on the future. And I would say a couple months after it really blew up and kind of was, the dust settled a little bit, went to Sunset.
Yeah, that's first.
Sunset.
Yeah.
JR was like anti EDM music. He's like, that stuff is so whack. I think Prater made him go to it. He's like, bro, I guess I'll just, did you like go like last minute or something?
Yeah. He told me he had an extra ticket.
The best last minute decision ever.
And that's how things happen. You know what I mean? It's exactly how life is supposed to.
That's how you met your fiance?
That's how I met her. Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's exactly how it was supposed to play. He invited me to Sunset. I was like, I'm not about that life, but right now I'm in a place where I probably need to be around some like uplifting people and like high energy. So
on drugs,
right, you know what I mean, or whatever the hell,
whatever they got going on.
I've never had a bad time around these people.
Yeah, they're always happy. Yeah,
literally, the nicest people. Compliments and this. So I was like, I can go be around a lot of like love right now. So. And
that culture is always like just so accepting of everything.
Oh,
if you ever go to a music festival, you see a lot of booty, but you see a lot of weird stuff too. But everybody's just like so
everybody's
happy.
Everybody gets
happy
along,
go lucky. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Accepting of everything.
Yeah, it's one of the best experiences I've had. So went there. We were probably there for an hour, bro. And this girl just so we were by a stage, Bonnie and Clyde set, right? It was an early set. It was like a 4 or 5 p.m. set. They had the water blasters, and they were just shooting people in the crowd, right?
Yeah, because it gets so hot. Yeah.
So this girl comes over, and she's like, "Oh my god, getting wet and this and that. I was like, oh, I got you, girl. Let me block you from the water. I got you. We start dancing and stuff. And we just kind of kicked it there, and we had a good time. And she ended up being at the festival by herself because her friends bailed on her last minute.
Wow.
So she was like, I'm by myself. I was like, you want to kick it with us? You can, you know? And we kicked it the whole night. Best night I've ever had. Best vibe I've had with somebody right away. And the rest is history, man. I mean, we're going on 6 years almost.
6 years.
Engaged now, brand new baby. And I mean, life is good, bro. So you got to go through the trenches, right? You got to go through a lot of crap. You got to learn from it and everything. But the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, 100%.
You know
just
what I mean?
like, I mean, because we did life insurance for so long, and there was always so much adversity and stuff that we had to go through. And I think Eric Thomas says it best, is like, you're either heading to a storm, you're going through a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. Like, that's always how it is. And that's crazy and amazing that, like, you coming out of that storm and then you literally found
It's crazy.
Fiance,
it's
man.
crazy. We still talk about it now. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, I kind of knew that whole story, but I didn't really know that's like how it came to fruition. I thought like it was like her friends or something, like you guys met each other there, but you guys just met literally by the fate of God, which is crazy.
And it's at a music festival where there's like thousands of people.
Thousands of people in something that you were so against going to.
That's the funny part. Right?
Yeah, so JR, you love that kind of music now. Like,
now I love it. I try to not miss any festivals that I can.
But before this, we would always talk about it with Prater, and he'd be like, "No, that's so crazy. Why would I go do that?" And it's just so funny, like.
They probably got him. They were like, you can go. You don't have to wear a shirt for the whole week.
I didn't have my shirt on. It was off.
But, sometimes, it's not your plan that's going to work. It's God's plan. And if you just didn't let go of what the circumstances that you were going through at that time and just kind of do some spur of the moment, you would never be in the position that you are now. Like 6 years later, about to get married. Got a little baby girl.
Crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's
I still trip over it now, man. Honestly, it's just because I kept my mind open. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, I just knew that it was going to be better than sitting at home miserable.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's what we talked about that one time, on the Overcoming Depression episode, is like, when you do get in those things and when you are going through breakups or you're going through like losing a job, a death in the family, something that gets you in that dark place, you got to get around the people like Prater was. You know what I'm saying? He's always like a happy go, like, come on, let's go have fun.
Like, let's go do
crazy.
it, whatever it is.
You got to get around the people that care about you and the people that you care about. And then, like, this is a story that came to fruition just by doing that. And that's what you got to do. You can't stay in that depression. You got to get around the people that you care about and the ones that care about you. So that's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
I'm curious. So what was the transition time from one relationship to the other? Because Brandon has a rule that you got to wait a year. How long before that happened for you?
I don't disagree with that rule. This was months. It was probably 2, 3, 4 months at the most after like I really shut things off with the previous one, and I was not looking, you know what I mean? At all. I met her and I was like, this would be a fun time tonight. You know what I mean? And that was it, and she even said the same thing. We talked about it. Like, we didn't think that this was going to go any further than sunset.
Right.
And it clicked, dude, because she lives far as hell. She lived in like she lives out in Polk County.
Polk County,
out there, like out in the sticks out there. So I was like, I'll never run into her. You know what I mean? This is perfect, So, but now she's watching my child. You know what I mean? So it's just wild to think about. But that's how life is, man. You know what I mean? You always hear a lot of people like they go through all this shit and all this heartache and everything, and it's like for a reason, and they never know why, right? You never know why this has happened to you.
Right.
But I'm a strong believer of the saying, everything happens for you, not to you.
Amen.
Right? So like that previous relationship happened for me to enjoy what I have right now. You know what I mean? Because now I know that that's not a lifestyle that I ever want to be a part of. And I know how to act, how to talk to her now. Like, I mean, I was just terrible. I was a bad person with the previous one.
Right.
You know what I mean? In all aspects, like just doing bad things and trying and getting away with it, and kept doing it, and just so much disrespect. And that's just not the person that I was raised to be. You know what I mean? And she definitely brought out a darker side of me, just because there was a lot of manipulation, and she made me feel small at times, you know what I mean? Because of the position.
And you're 6'2", 6'3"?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, when a guy's getting disrespected in a relationship, like that's how it makes you feel. It makes you feel like almost worthless.
Yeah.
You know,
and especially when it was business, there would be business related.
Especially
because of the position. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because of the position.
You didn't write no business.
Right. The position that you're in and the power that you have, like, don't use that.
Right.
To shit on people, you know what I mean? Like that's not, you're supposed to use it to encourage people and get people to where you are. Don't hold people down because you have that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I felt like I was under a thumb for years, bro, and holding me back from a lot of things that I probably could have done sooner.
Right.
You know what I mean? In life. So, but again, it happened for a reason because now I'm stoked, bro. I love life right now.
Sick,
life is good now.
That's what's up.
You know, it's funny because as like you said, basically when you had the opportunity to move over, obviously we all kind of moved over together. When you transitioned out of kind of that thing and when we moved over, that's the same time I was kind of getting out. Time? Yeah, well, from one relationship, kind of shutting that off.
I thought you meant leaving.
No. Yeah, so being able to shut that off and transition to just a new sort of thing and getting away from that. Okay, coming out the jacket. You want the tattoos on camera?
Yeah,
there it is.
I gotta show my shirt.
Your shirt's tight today.
It's a Deadpool. it's a Deadpool Christmas shirt.
Interesting.
It's got Groot. Yeah, man, come on.
But yeah, so
here's my thing, real quick. So now that I'm thinking, like, I believe the three of us were working in the same place, in toxic relationships, probably at the same time.
Yeah, it was like a situationship.
Well, they were
sure. It was viewed. It was viewed differently. Right. I thought that was like. That's it for you, bro. You were like, this is it.
The way he was talking about it.
You know, it should have been avoided at all costs.
All of us.
Yeah, all of us.
But I believe you guys have excelled quite a bit from there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? A lot of growth and stuff. So, I mean, hey, it happens, bro. You know what I mean? We only
one day at a time, man. We're only humans. You're either growing or you're dying. Yeah. So, and that leads us into basically what we want to talk about today. But, you know, we had to get a little bit about relationships and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But something that that was actually preached, you know, in the agency that we were in, which was with Simon Arias, is he was always big into, you know, mind, body, spirit, working out, staying in tune with your mind by audiobooks, podcasts, reading, and then your body, just working out, staying healthy. So what exactly does that mean to you? Like, I know you still live by this lifestyle, even though you're not in that, and this has kind of been a lifestyle thing for you. Like, what does MBS or mind, body, spirit mean to you?
So that's my bread and butter, man. Those are my three favorite words, man. I mean, that's just routine. That's just tradition now. That's every day. It's a ritual. It's something that, like you said, that I didn't take that on until I started the insurance. I feel like I was doing a little bit on my own without really being aware. But once they kind of broke it down like that, I was like, okay, I can roll with that. So I was open to it and I stuck to it. And to me, I mean, when I was in those dark days, you know, within that relationship, like, that was something that helped a lot. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Because it was the only time that I was just me by myself, clear thoughts. Nobody was harassing me over anything, and I could just do my thing. And you know, just working out, you release those endorphins. So you always feel better about yourself. So that was always a boost for me. And to do it first thing in the morning is hands down, like, I got to do that before I even brush my teeth at times. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to start your day with that.
How do you go through your morning routine? Because MBS stands for mind, body, and spirit. So explain to us your morning routine and how you incorporate those three things?
So every morning, I'm up at 4 a.m.
Still.
Consistency,
man.
If Crunch opened earlier, I'd be there earlier. So Crunch, get it together. We need a 24-hour location, man.
There's one in Tampa, Hillsboro.
24 hours?
Yeah, Hillsboro.
Come to St. Pete.
Yeah, right.
I'm up at 4. A lot of times, like I just said, I mean, a lot of the world's not up at that time. So I know there's no emails, there's no phone calls, there's no texting, there's none of that. Like I can do what I got to do. So the phone is not even an option for me. You know, the only reason I look at my phone is I read my scripture on there. So I just do the proverb of the day. So if it's what's today? The 7th?
7th,
right? So proverb number 7 is what I'm reading, you know? So after that, then I do my prayer. I pray, and you know, whatever you believe in, it is what it is. It's just talk or whatever you do. But you know, I pray, and I'm have my moment of gratitude every morning for my family, my daughter, my parents, whatever I got going on, and then it's time to get to work.
Right.
And then we go bang some weights in the gym. But that's every morning. So from 4 to 5, that's what I do. I do my scripture and I do my prayer, and then the gym opens at 5, and I'm ready to go.
So about 2 hours essentially, because you're waking up doing all that, and then by the time you get to the gym, finish the gym, it's about 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll say 4 to 6:30.
So what would you say, or what tips would you give to somebody that doesn't like to wake up that early?
I don't like to get up that early. You know what I mean? You know, that's first. Let's set that straight. Nobody likes to get up early.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just do it because I know that in my life and with my routine, with what I got going on, that's best when it's going to fit. It's not going to be after I get off of work. I have a child to attend to now. That's daddy time.
Yeah. Did that change for you? Like now that after you had the daughter, did that change how that routine had to work?
No, you would think it did, but it didn't. And I've been literally running the same routine since I was with you fools back in the day. You know what I mean? So, and luckily for me, we've been a couple times, you know what I mean? Yeah. But again, he couldn't make it every day. He wasn't consistent with it. He wasn't consistent with it, you know, and I gave you shit for it. But how good did you feel when you did do it? You know what I mean? Like, and it's done.
Yeah, then
before the sun comes up, you're done already.
I hate working out in the afternoon because it's so much easier to get it done first thing in the morning, because then it's one thing I don't have to think about. Now I can just focus on work.
Right.
Focus on doing other things.
Right.
But if I wait and then I start doing stuff, then I'm like, bro, I still got to go to the gym. And then it's like,
that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah,
I hate that
it's
feeling.
not good. It's so much it's not easier to get it done in the morning, but you feel so much better.
Yes. And it sets the tone for the day.
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, it releases endorphins where you come out and like, I've never left the gym where I'm like, fuck, now I gotta go do it. You know what I mean? I've always left like, let's go rock,
so
you know?
I assume your work schedule is not as crazy as it used to be when we were doing insurance.
No,
you're just Monday through Friday right now?
Yeah, just regular.
Okay. So how were you able to keep that routine for 6 years doing life insurance? Because we were basically working 9 to 9 every day with little breaks in between throughout the day, depending on the day. Yeah. But how are you able to keep that discipline to do it every single day? Because that's why I couldn't, what if I'm in the house till 10?
Yeah.
Or if I'm selling till 11, then I'm like, bro, I'm not waking up at 5 to go meet you at the gym because I need that extra hour.
See, but what's that extra hour going to do for you?
Nothing.
Right? I mean, to me, I feel like I'm still going to be as tired if I wake up at 4 than if I woke up at 6.
Right.
Literally, you're still the same.
Yeah.
I'm just as tired.
And then if you oversleep, you're even more tired. That's usually how. 100%.
100%. So I tell you what, man, I put a lot on, and I like to toot my own horn because I feel like I'm a very disciplined person.
Right.
100%.
And I get that, first of all, from my father, because he was in the Army. I was an Army brat growing up. So I saw him, how disciplined he was. Every night, my dude was starching his uniforms where he can
so he get the crease on it.
Dude, you can cut paper on that thing. You know what I mean? And very disciplined. Every night he had his hung up and everything. And I just saw that growing up, you know what I mean? And then, you know, just little things like making your bed, brushing your teeth, shower. You guys do that every day. That doesn't mean you're disciplined. It's just because it's part of your routine.
Right.
You know what I mean? And discipline is just you growing that muscle of committing to yourself to do something. You know what I mean? That's all that
I like
is.
that because basically that's all it is. It's just anything that you do that's new, you're going to have to build that muscle. Just like when you're in the gym.
Yeah.
Just like at social events, if you're uncomfortable going to those kind of things by yourself, like a social event, everything's a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it's going to become.
That's it.
But so you're saying if you get 6 hours of sleep versus 4 hours of sleep, like you're still going to be the same amount of tired. Just push through it.
For me, yeah, personally. Okay. Everybody's a little bit different.
Everybody, I agree with
you.
True. Is there anything that you recommend that could help make them maybe less tired, or any tips and tricks to get up?
You just gotta ease into it. You know what I mean? Say you wake up at 6, then try 5:45 for a week, 5:30 for the next week, 5:15. You know what I mean? And then eventually you'll creep into it, because if you go from 6 to 4, that is a big difference. You know what I mean? Like 2 hours of sleep that you just lose overnight. Like,
so start simple with a 15-minute increment. Do you do the phone across the room trick?
I don't have to.
You don't have to
at this point, right?
There's times where I don't even need an alarm. I get up before it.
It's like you're ready to rock.
Yeah. Okay. So if I get up, it's like 3:58. I'm not going to go back to school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that is a good trick. If you do have trouble getting up in the morning like that, definitely, put that phone across the room, bro.
You know what I mean? 100%.
You get up eventually.
There's a book that I recommend too that's really good, that like in the first chapter talks a lot about, it's not called Mind, Body, Spirit, but he basically talks about like having a morning routine and tips and tricks to make it a little bit easier for you. And it's Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. It's a really good book. Get the audiobook. That's the owner of On It, the supplement company.
Yeah.
And basically he says you should how you start your day, sets the mood for the entire day. Like how you start your morning sets mood for the entire day of how productive you're going to be. So the 3 things that he talks about in that first chapter is to hydrate, have movement, and then get light. Obviously, if you're waking up at 4 a.m., you can't get light, but there's I'm not sure if you ever heard of blue light headphones. Okay, so you probably don't need it because you have so much discipline. But you can. I think the brand is called Human Charger. It's like a Switzerland-based brand, but you can it's blue light that you just put into your ears, so it's kind of like you're getting sunlight directly to your brain. So it tells your.
That's crazy.
It's insane. The concept is crazy.
It tells you. Well, it's just like when you wake up and you go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? You want to get as much of that blue light, as much of that sunlight as possible, because it tells your body, your circadian rhythm, it tells your body that, hey, it's time to be up and be awake.
Right.
So it's the same concept, but just directed straight into your ears. And it'd probably be good for like a morning time when the sun's not up, if you're waking up that early.
Right, yeah.
So hydrate. I think we lose about 2% or we sweat out 2% of water weight, something like that, as we sleep. So the first thing you need to do in the morning is hydrate. Is that what you do? Water? Oh yeah.
Never leave home without it, dude.
A lot of times, I have a problem with this is going straight to coffee, and apparently that is so bad before you hydrate, because it like gives your body like a flight or flight response, and it makes you more anxious than if you were to drink water or drink electrolytes before you have your coffee.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. It's just like alcohol without any, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna jack you up.
Yeah. So the main thing that he talks about too is that you have to hydrate, not just with water, but replenishing your electrolytes. So magnesium, sodium, and potassium. So if you don't have, or I use the brand LMNT, but he said that if you don't want to like waste money on that, you can just use pink Himalayan salt and then a quarter of a lemon and just mix it up. And then that's like a natural form of electrolyte. So it helps hydrate your body so that way you're more awake and more alert. And then obviously movement would be going to the gym. Yeah. If you don't want to work out in the morning, his recommendation would like do some sort of 2 to 5 minute exercise. So like burpees, push-ups, something like that to get your heart rate elevated so that you're awake and alert. And now you're going to start the day better than if you just roll out of bed, snooze, go get some coffee.
Yeah, it's funny because that's what I did when we were at AIL, because I wasn't used to that schedule. I wasn't getting up super early and coming home super late. So I had to I started doing push-ups in the morning just to wake up, because otherwise I wanted to get back into bed. So literally, and that's still now to this day, still do that. And it's just progressed. Basically, I was doing 20 just to wake up. Now I'm like, I can't wake up without this. I'm not going to feel good for the rest of it if I don't do these 70 push-ups.
Yeah, movement early is definitely really, really key. And to just get your workout out of the way. How long do you work out?
Hour.
Yeah. 30, 45 minutes.
Out an hour.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, start with 30. That I tell myself, because even like I hate going to the gym. Like it's not. Once I'm in there, I do. I don't really like
the drive.
I don't like it. It's literally 2 minutes. I just don't like working out, but like I know I need to because of how it's going to make me feel and how it's going to make me look. Yeah. And then it's just good for your overall health. Yeah. So I always tell myself, it's like, just go put in 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes usually turn into 40 minutes. So it's like, just tell yourself a little bit of time, and consistency is going to compound. If you're doing 20 minutes every single day, you're going to be better than the person that did 1 hour for one day and then just, I missed a day, I'm going to wait till next week. Right. Just go in there and do 20 minutes. Yeah. Tell yourself that, and then work off of that. All right, now this week I'm going to do 30 minutes.
Yeah, so talking about the mind, body, and spirit, I want to talk about the mind aspect of it, right? Because I think what a lot of people probably struggle with is self-talk and talking themselves into basically getting into that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So for you, I guess, because obviously you've been doing this for a long time, but at the start, what was your self-talk like to make sure that you stayed consistent with things like this?
So I believe that a big motivation for me is once you start seeing results, it does kind of become addictive. And like you kind of obsessed over it. You know what I mean? And you just kind of just think like, all right, do I want this lifestyle or do I want that lifestyle? And you just got to commit at that time. But like, I think that that's the biggest problem that a lot of people have is like, they've never seen true results, so they don't believe that they can do it. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, I've tried so many diets and this and that, but like then you're on the weekends eating
whatever
Sonic and you know what I mean, like corn dogs and stuff. So it's like it doesn't make this. It doesn't. There's no connection there, so there's no real mindset. I believe reading, the praying, the scriptures, all that you have to do it all together. But like it all, this is the core of it. Is the mindset of everything. So it's like. They don't believe in themselves because it's never happened for them.
So do you read every day or most days?
I need to get better at it. Okay. I was, obviously with 75 hard and everything.
Oh, yeah,
like
because you read every
day. Yeah, because you have to.
I get into the same thing. It's like, dang, then I don't put it back into the schedule. Then it's like, it's like a workout. If you don't put it into the schedule or you don't do it, like it doesn't get done.
Yeah. And it's been, and I'm guilty of this. I literally have the book sitting right next to my nightstand, and it's just right now collecting dust. And I'm like, damn. Because when you get off of 75 hard, you try to stay, and it's like, oh, maybe every other day. The
first one that goes is a book.
Then, every other day. Then it's like once a week. And so definitely got to get better. But the reading aspect definitely helps.
You learn so much.
Yeah, especially if you're reading the right book.
What are some of the books that you recommend? Give me like the top 2 you've read.
Fire. Right now, I'm reading The Power of One More by your boy, Ed Milet.
One More.
Yeah.
The Power of One More.
I heard him talk about that on the podcast.
Oh, dude, it's my second time reading it. I put top 3 best book I've ever read. So if you haven't read it, cop it.
Okay,
it's
so
good.
I haven't read that one, so I'll add that.
That one's fire. My David Goggins.
Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, Can't Hurt Me.
That book
one's great.
Literally, I don't want to say changed my life, but helped change my mindset because I used to I can't fully run right now, but I read that book and I'm just like, this is crazy. And I hated running. I was the person that was like, I'm a sprinter. I'll only run 1 mile. And I read that book.
Soft.
Yeah. I was like, I hate running. I can't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just not built for this. Built to run.
Because you're little. Legs.
Exactly. My legs are so small, man. I'm not built for that. I'm a sprinter. They move fast.
Right.
You know, like a little ostrich.
Right.
But I read that book, and then after I read that book, I literally ran a half marathon. So I literally ran. I would go run Bayshore, and there'd just be some nights I would just run 10 miles, and it'd be like I ran 8 miles, and I'd be like, okay, the next night I kind of feel good. Let me run the most I've ever ran without stopping. Boom, hit 10 miles, and I'm like, okay. Then I did a half marathon, and then I kind of got out of it. But I was like, that book really
that mindset, dude.
It's just like it's like I ran
discipline. That David Goggins is high level.
13.1, I think, is a half marathon. So
you did that out here.
So it was during COVID. So like when I read the book, so it was definitely virtual, but I like signed up for it to commit to it, to commit to myself to do it. And I woke up at like 5:30 and just started and timed it. Like ran, I had like a little route set up that I was going to do that I was already running and just set up. And
so you did this by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they tracked you, right? Or something?
Yeah.
Like you like started it?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that fancy, but they just basically, you just signed up and then, I think, I tracked it on my Apple Watch, and then I think I sent in my time. Like, you had to send in a picture of it to show that you did it.
It has to be, some kind of proof.
It was something like that. So I signed up. This was COVID, so no one else was doing this. I just ran it all by myself, and then just sent it in. They gave me like a little medal. But yeah,
the book made you want to do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I never ran.
How long after you finished the book was the marathon?
It probably was like a couple months. Okay. Yeah, it was like during, like, I'm reading the book,
and you knew that you were going to do the marathon.
It was making me wanting to run.
Gotcha.
And then I'm doing like 4 miles. I'm like, okay, I used to think 4 miles was a lot. Then I'm like running for an hour nonstop. I'm like, yo, I never knew I could do it. I do have asthma too, so like that was part of the reason too. I thought I could never run long distance.
Right.
But then I'm like, okay, now I hit 8 miles. 8 miles without stopping. When I used to think 1 mile without stopping was difficult. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, what else can I do? I was like, okay, there's half marathon, it's 13.1. And then right before that, I think I got up to like 12 or 11. So I never did 13.1 until the half marathon. So that was like the first time I ever ran that long.
It's fire. See? And I will take that back to what you asked about the mindset, dude. Mm-hmm. It's believing that you can do it even before you do it, right? Mm-hmm. So like he didn't think he'd do that, but then he was like reading this book and fired his ass up.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
he was like doing it, and then he kept pushing himself, and that's because he started seeing results.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like at the same time, you're like, oh, I got asthma, I'm sure. I'm on ostrich legs. You know what I mean? Like I can't do it, but you freaking went and did it on your own too.
Yeah.
To run a marathon, just like virtual.
Full marathon. I don't want to, discredit the people that actually run marathons. What's a half marathon? 13.1.
But to even run that, bro, like that, and to do it on your own, you know what I mean? Like you mapped it out, you did everything, like you took it upon yourself. That took discipline, though.
Yeah,
you know
I did. That was the time too. I was running a lot with Beth as well. She ran
with her one time. That was all I needed to do.
She was a beast to run with.
Remember when we ran with Beth, me and you?
Yeah, but I would try and run with her consistently.
You're trying to keep up with us.
So she can run, bro.
Yeah, like she was she deep Power 5 D1 runner? Yeah. What are we doing? Why am I here with you?
Hey, man, you got to get around the best to be the best.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I felt like a tank running next to her.
No, she's amazing.
Dude, she can go.
Shout out to Beth.
Yeah, man.
Newly married. Congrats.
That's also amazing to see, her get married.
Yeah, because she hated guys.
No, she just could never
commit.
I hung out with her a lot, so we had these conversations. But yeah, she just couldn't find one that was like worthy. They were all like,
this guy seems cool.
Yeah,
he seems like cool. The type of guy that Beth would
100%. Yeah.
Right? Like they look good together.
She was like dating the typical like sales, POS.
No, that's not.
It's like, nah, man, you got to get out of that. So I'm glad that she finally got married with that too. But that's what's up. What I don't know where my train of thought was going. What else we got on that? But read that book, man. Go run a half marathon. Read that book.
David Goggins. So that book,
right?
What is The Power of One More? I know he talked about it in his, but let me hear your point.
So I love it because it's something that I actually do use now every day, especially in the gym, to be honest with you. So he's talking about every time you do something. So if you're running or if you're lifting or if you're whatever it is, just have, whenever you feel like you don't want to do anymore, you can't, just do one more rep, one more speech, one more audition, one more phone call, one more sales call. You know what I mean? Like he's just do one more. And I mess with it. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, even in the gym, bro. Andy Frisilla, he says the same thing because they work together and stuff. So he was talking about that he got it from the book, and he gives himself one more. And he says, like, if he's running on a treadmill and he's like, I'm gonna stop at 20, and he gets to 20, he's like, nah, I'm gonna do one more 5-minute sprint. And then he'll do it, and then that's it. You know what I mean? He'll only allow himself to do one more extra, whatever it is. Right. But and that's basically what he talks about in different aspects of life. You know what I mean? Whether it be your health, your spiritual side, your whatever it is. But it's just everything
because
is just
the power of
just having
compounding.
Of just doing one more thing, because that one more phone call could get you what you're looking for or whatnot. Especially with what we did. I felt like that was something that we always kept pushing. 100%. One more phone call. That'll be the next phone call that sets you up.
I was gonna say, That made me think about when we did those morning motivations. I'm looking at right now this morning pump up from 2018 that you guys had me doing on One More. That's what the topic was on that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, that sounds so familiar, but I still have this thing here in my notes.
That was 2018.
2018. I was before the time. That's what it sounds like.
I think we started that.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed Milet, man, we need.
Let's talk, man.
I need my royalties on that, man. What we talking about?
But yeah, it just made so much sense in the sales world. There's
Especially.
always one more.
You got notes on there?
It's right. Yeah.
What's one thing it says?
Till you burn out.
So basically,
fire us up, bro.
So basically, what I have written here, I was talking about starting off with the sports aspect of it. Basically, the memory I had associated with sports was the phrase "one more." So what it kind of brought me back to was doing sprints with the team. Everybody's exhausted, throwing up, hunched over, and you hear coach, "One more," right? Mm-hmm. One more. You do one more, you hear again, one more. So it took me some years to understand why he would tell us one more. And obviously now we understand, because when you hear one more, you give it everything else that you have. Mm-hmm. Whatever you think you didn't have, that's what you're giving now, because you said, oh, I got one more. All right, let's go. I don't want to leave this thing feeling like I had more left. So let me get everything else that I got.
Empty the tank.
Exactly. Empty it all out. So then obviously we go into how our weeks, obviously from 9 to 9, when we're going out and selling, we're going a whole week and we're blanking. Terrible, right? People hanging up on you, slamming the door in your face. One more, right? One more door. One more door knock.
One more door knock. One more phone call. One more appointment. One more presentation. One more referral. Right. That referral is going to be the one that sets you off, man.
I got one more out, man.
Just one more.
I got one more burned out, man. After about 4.5 years, I got to get out of there.
Just one. Yeah, man. It was great. And then ended off with a Thomas Edison quote: "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always to try just one more time." And he failed however many times before he got, what was that, the light bulb? Yeah. 10,000 tries on it.
See, that's exactly what it is, though. But the book is fire.
Yeah.
One more of everything in life. But that's where it's at, man. I believe that's a big thing, right? Like one more relationship.
Yeah.
That's the next one, right?
One more EDC.
One more EDC.
That was Sunset.
That's Sunset. That's one more SMF.
Different companies.
They're all the same thing to me. I don't regard
it. We got to bring clean on it now.
Yeah. Right, we'll bring you to the next one.
You might find the love of your life, man. You never know, dog.
What tips would you give somebody, or what would you recommend somebody that has schedule like ours right now? So, weekdays, we be working during the weekdays and we work weekends.
Yeah.
And it throws off your circadian rhythm to where your brain really doesn't know, hey, I should be up at this time or I should be asleep at this time. So it makes, waking up early really hard. I did it for a couple of times, or for a couple months this year, of going from, working overnight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leaving early, and then trying to wake up early Monday through Thursday. Obviously couldn't do it Friday because I was working Thursday overnight. But what tips would you give on that? Having a schedule that crazy.
What time were y'all getting home on the weekends?
3:30.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thursday, Friday. Well,
and then you
Friday,
pretty
Saturday.
much asleep the next day.
No, I'll back up at 8:30.
Because you can't really sleep in that much. On Saturdays I can sleep in because it's compounded the lack of sleep from Thursday, Friday.
Right.
So Saturday, sleep in, but on
Sunday,
Thursday, Friday, you don't really sleep.
Yeah, my body just doesn't work that way at this point.
Yeah.
I don't get to sleep.
Y'all are wild, man. I feel like I don't get no sleep.
Well, no, I definitely get it. I prioritize getting sleep.
How many hours?
Minimum 7.
Oh wow. Okay. So you get a lot of sleep.
Yeah. And I take naps too.
Oh yeah.
See, that's something I do.
I can't do it.
Actually,
you don't do naps?
Book,
no, I can't.
Have you? So in the book, by Aubrey Marcus, I was talking about. He actually talks about a nap called a binaural beats nap. You heard of binaural beats? Mm-hmm. So it's
you got a lot of terms and stats today, man. Where you learning all this?
You did his research for today.
Yeah. Well, you pour into your mind.
There we go.
To be able to pour into others.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Talk to me.
You know what I'm saying? You learn from other people. There's so many people in this world that you can be learning from, and that's a really good book that I recommend. This is where I learned it from. But basically, he's talking about as a human, I need a nap. Like I'm a nap person, but you don't want to overdo it. Like sleeping for an hour is way too much. So it's a 30-minute timer. You put a 30-minute timer on your phone, you put on headphones, and then you go on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is, and you just search binaural, BYNURAL, beats. And it's just slow beats that go in and out of each headphone.
Almost like a hypnosis rocking back and forth.
Almost like that, yeah. So once you do it, you just put on the headphones, you put on an eye mask if you need it to be dark, and you just set your phone timer for 30 minutes, and then that's that. You go and take your nap for 30 minutes. 35 if it takes you a couple minutes to fall asleep, but set it for 30 minutes, and then you just wake up a lot more refreshed. I'm not sure the actual science. He probably talks about it in the book, but using that to take a nap, it's kind of like the white noise thing to fall asleep at night.
You tried it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I do it all the time, yeah.
Really?
Because I need it, yeah. Because there'll be like caffeine doesn't affect me that much. I can drink like 1,000 milligrams.
You've built up quite the tolerance then, huh?
Even when I stop it and do it again, it doesn't do anything. Like I don't feel caffeine. I just drink coffee because it tastes good, and I drink energy drinks for the taste.
Interesting. So you're not getting anything from the caffeine?
I don't get anything.
Might as well drink hot chocolate and juice. Yeah, he's crazy.
That's hot chocolate is so much sugar in there, bro.
Yeah. How do you?
I usually put my collagen protein in my coffee and make it taste good with that.
Collagen protein? Man, what the hell is that?
When do you drink your water?
Where?
When?
You
drink water? You drink a lot of water?
Throughout the day. Not as much as I should. Well, I drink a lot of electrolytes though. Okay. So I'll mix between at least electrolyte can from Element a day, and then I try and do as much water as I can. But you know how the water goes.
So I was actually just having this talk with somebody the other day because I was like, I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I've never had a cup of coffee in my life, and I don't drink no energy drinks.
Yeah, I don't touch it.
Right? You don't either?
No, at all.
It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you just drink it for the taste.
Right.
I know there's people.
You're psycho.
People drink it because they need to. But
yeah.
I can't, man. And
drinking it's probably just a placebo effect. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be more energized, but then I not, and then I drink another one. I'm like, all right, maybe it works.
It's crazy.
You do pre-workouts?
Occasionally. Now I don't do the crazy strong ones.
No.
Yeah, it just depends on how I feel. Because sometimes I just go, just get up and go. But if I do it, it'll be like a first form megawatt one. It's like a super basic, subtle, not strong at all one. But yeah, I don't really go OD on pre-workouts because I don't like the beta alanine that makes you.
No, I stopped taking anything.
Just raw dog everything.
Yeah, man. It is what it is.
No coffee, no energy drinks. Wakes up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
No pre-workout, just raw dog in life.
Dude,
as it comes.
It's just I'm callous.
No binaural.
It just is what it
is.
Yeah. No binaural beat snaps.
None of that fancy stuff, man.
I'm probably going off of 5 hours.
So what?
Every night.
This is actually a good point because I actually got a buddy, and I hope you're listening.
Oh, okay. Danny. All right, talk to him.
Danny.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say any names, but I say his name every time. And he has 2 kids, a wife at home, and he needs to find time for the gym. And I try to tell him, like, hey, you should probably just wake up early and go to the gym. But he's just like, nah, it's hard.
What's hard?
Getting to the gym. Waking up and getting to the gym.
Oh, he can't get up.
Yeah, to wake up earlier. Yeah, because he works long hours during the week. So it's like, it's just harder for him to do that. So like, what tips would you tell him? And I tell him the thing. My thing is like, if you start to neglect it now, it's going to come back to you later in life because health. If you don't take care of your health, like it's going to come back and hit you once you get older. That's how my point of view on it.
I would say with him, and here's what I would say. Not just to him. It's like when we're talking about like, oh, you got to get up and go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym.
You know
what I mean? Like you could do stuff at the crib, push-ups, sit. I mean, you can YouTube thousands of workouts that you pull a bar in the door jam or whatever it is. I can't wait to have a home gym. So I never have to go to a gym again. You know what I mean? Like I don't ever I love going to the gym now, but again, I hate getting up early and having to drive there every morning. I hate it, especially now when it's 45 degrees outside.
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious? And I'm coming
especially at 4 a.m.
I'm coming out in my shorts to do legs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's cold. And that's another thing is now with the weather, people drop off.
I definitely did it.
That's the best excuse to use. Oh, it's too cold outside. I don't know.
Or it's too high. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't even have to lift weights. You can go outside and go walk 2 miles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, again, movement. You just got to move the body, man, because Father Time is no joke. And he comes up, you know what I mean? And if you ain't ready for it, he's going to hit you pretty hard, you know? So, and that's kind of how I look at it now. Now having my daughter, like, it's like, I want to be as physically in shape for when she's older, and hopefully whatever she wants to do, but hopefully she gets into sports.
Yeah, of course, always.
And we can like do drills and like, but I want to be the father that keeps up with her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be the father that's overweight and has to just show up to her games and sit on the lawn chair. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be out there like coaching and helping out, you know? So, that's just kind of how I look at it. Like, I want to be the Jack Dad. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be the Jack Dad when you
that all the single moms are looking at out there.
Going to all the events and like all the fat dads are around, and that's the Jack Dad with the tattoos and the bald guy. You know what I mean?
You should go talk to him, honey. He
like, I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So
part of the reason why I decided to fix my ACL was that it's like I don't have kids yet, but like whenever I do, like my son. It's not going to beat me in any sports.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I need to get this fixed now so I could be running full speed. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? By the time he's...
When were you planning to have a kid?
whenever God...
Whenever you forget to pull out.
I don't ever forget to do that. I don't ever forget to do that.
It shows. So far, he's got a clean record.
Yeah, so far.
That we know of.
That we know.
There's no little Brandon Haley's running around somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe.
Arguably, allegedly. We'll table that.
That's another talk.
Might be one of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was part of the reason why. Yeah, I didn't want to be the dad, and if the Lord blesses me to be a father one day, I didn't want to be the dad. I didn't want to have my son beat me in anything, any sports. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I look at it now.
You're gonna lose every time.
Yeah.
Until you actually
earn it.
Until you actually good enough.
Because eventually there'll be a day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There'll be a day.
There'll be a day. But till then, like
when I'm running my back, there goes my knee again.
But that's a big motivation, dude. Honestly, you know what I mean? And like to get back to what we were talking about, like you got to find time, dude. Everybody got long hours, long weeks, kids, this and that. But like so many people make it happen. And a big thing that had opened my eyes to that was 75 Hard. I know you're a big believer of that program.
That was, I actually did it. I know you just told me before the show that you listened to the Skeletons episode.
I did.
That's actually
one of my top favorite ones. That's a good one.
Episode 4, check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
But that propelled me into doing 75 Hard.
Yeah.
Is because that's when that got me to stop drinking. So that was, I thought, the hardest thing to do because I worked in nightlife. So that was a limiting belief. I always told myself, I can't not drink. I work here. You know what I'm saying? I have to. It's part of the job.
Right.
But then I didn't. And then to keep it going, I was like, let me just do, I already stopped drinking for a month or two. Or I think it was like a month at the time. I was like, okay, let me do 75 Hard. Now I'm going an extra 75 days without drinking. Right. And then just doing that is like...
That's all you needed.
Yeah,
just a couple months of doing it.
Yeah, you got to find time. Yeah, now it's been, 2 years, 2 months now?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
congrats, bro.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Especially working in the nightlife. You're going to hit him with the applause.
I was waiting for it to come up.
That's our audio.
We got crickets.
There we go.
Where's the bad one? Like the knee stuff.
That one.
But that's discipline, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
To work at the nightlife and completely cut off of that's all you're.
And they will try and get you to drink.
Oh yeah, it was hard. It was hard. You think about it sometimes too, but it's just, just like anything. It's a muscle. The longer you go without it, the more you work that muscle, the better off you're going to be. The stronger you're going to be. So nobody starts as an expert in anything, you know what I'm saying? And you just take it day by day, one day at a time. And the only thing I kept telling myself was just not today, not today, not today. And to a point, it's like, okay, now it's been 6 months. Like, all right, when am I going to do it? I was like, okay, my best friend gets married in Jamaica, all inclusive. I'm like, I'll probably drink there. It's my best friend. It's all inclusive. I already paid for it. And I already paid for it. I might as well do it.
Right.
No one's going to be there. Like, come on, I might as well have a couple. It's my best friend's wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right.
Huge temptation.
Right.
And, got through it. And I was like, didn't even want to. I was like,
wow.
Like right before I decided I'm not going to. And all right, my barber, who's like also a pastor, he's like, I said, yeah, I'm probably going to drink there. He's like, why?
Why?
I was like,
you didn't have a reason.
it's like, bro, that's a good question. I guess I'm not. Just sometimes it takes somebody like that. You're like, okay. So, just kept it going. And, longer you do something, more discipline you are with it. So
that's awesome. Dude.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, like mentally, that I've thought about basically is like, especially with working out, is that what I try to tell people is that right now, you have to talk yourself into going to the gym. Once you decide to make that a routine and a habit, at some point, you're going to have to start talking yourself out of it. Like I go running every single day. So when it starts to maybe start raining a little bit, because that's part of my routine to run, everything like, oh, well, it's raining. Then I'm like, well, how hard is it really raining for me to stop me from doing this? All right, let me just peek my head out. All right, let me wait like 10 minutes, see what's going on. Because I remember I had my girl who was at the crib. She was like, are you going to let that stop you from running today? Or I was like, all right, that's cool. Never mind. I got it. I'll go put a hoodie on. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, it's a little water. Right?
Yeah, it is what it is. But like once you get into it, at some point you're gonna have to tell yourself not to do it, and that's the best place to be in, to have to talk yourself out of good habits because you're in that routine.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'll tell you what, to piggyback off what you said, is that's a big game changer right there. Is let's say you are a runner, it rains, Florida, it rains all the time, right? Are you just not gonna run, right? And that's the thing. A lot of people, they'll use that as an excuse, but then you go out there, put a hoodie or whatever you go and run.
Right.
And now you know that you're in probably the top 2% of the people that are willing to go and do that. Instead of the other people that are like, oh, it's raining today, we'll just wait for tomorrow. But you know it's going to rain tomorrow. Yeah,
right. Exactly. You check the weather.
Right. So again, now you separate yourself from the pack by doing that. And I love that shit, dude. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why it drives me to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No one else is doing it.
Dude, and here's the thing. You'll be crazy. It's crazy because there'll be a packed gym still at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So I know I'm not the only crazy one. But like with the people that I mostly surround myself with, a lot of times.
Okay. I was about to say, what was that? Okay.
And that's like a biggest thing that I got out of doing the mind, body, spirit. Is like, dude, I know every morning I get up, I'm like, I know there's not too many other people that are doing this right now because it's cold or because it's raining or because it's this and that. And like, I don't know, some sick way that kind of gets me going.
Yeah. That's that David Goggins.
Dude,
like, nobody else is doing this.
I got to keep being better than you, bro. Man. That's
But it's the same thing, like how I said consistency compounds. Inconsistency compounds.
Absolutely.
Right.
You give one excuse to yourself, and then you let that excuse fiddle over into the next day, and then go into the next day, and the next day. Then it's like, at one point, 2 years down the road, you're huge. You know what I'm saying? You have noticeably gained weight. And me being like 31 is I'll see people from college or high school, and it's like, damn, 5 years ago,
right.
You had it going on. Now, you just let your excuses compound when you just got to let that consistency and that discipline compound to get you to where you want to be. Now, if your goal in life is to be, the most inconsistent person ever, you're probably not even listening to this episode.
Just be consistent with being inconsistent.
Right. Then you're doing great. But if your goal is to be consistent with discipline and staying true to yourself and not lying to yourself, because once you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it, you're essentially losing that credibility with yourself. Right. So anything that you think you're going to do, now you already know, like, you're really not going to do it and fulfill it.
It's got to be hard to believe in you after you keep not doing what you tell yourself you're going to do.
Yeah. That's 100%. Fire right there, because you're only lying to yourself.
That's it. This is you. I mean? Like, it's just you and you.
I'll be at the gym at 4 a.m. And when you don't go and you hit the snooze 6 times, you're only lying to yourself. Yeah. Because it don't matter. It don't make a difference to me because I'll be there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you only hurting yourself, and that's another thing too. Is you're only hurting yourself.
And that's why some people do need partners to go, like when they're trying to get back into that early morning routine. Sometimes they do need that partner, because now it's like you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting them down too. So now you're letting 2 people down. So it makes you want to go a little bit more. Yeah. So if you do have trouble with that. I felt that
pain a lot with this guy.
Yeah.
If it was by a certain time, I was like,
thanks a lot, Brandon.
I'm starting out of
5:30.
Yeah. No.
Because that's the thing. Like, when you do get up that early, like, I get up earlier because I don't like to be rushed either.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get up, just throw my stuff. Like, my clothes is set the night before, my gym fit with my kicks and everything that in my bag, my water's full, you know, I have it filled. So I don't have to do that. It's just whatever I can do to minimize the time that I need to do it tomorrow, and I could just focus on my prayer, my workout, my this and that, then I'm going to do it the night before. You know what I mean?
So
that's another thing that helps
exactly.
too.
How do you, I did want to make sure we got into that. So good thing you brought it up. How do you prepare the night before to make sure your next day is successful and set up?
Just like I was saying, man, I have my outfits ready. I have my water filled. I have my alarm set. I got like everything's in place. I'm a very OCD type of guy too. So like I'm very too routine. Like I can eat the same thing every day for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't affect me. So like everything is very uniformed in my life, you know, and that helps a lot. And you pencil things in. You're like, I know, but from this time to that time tomorrow, I'm going to be doing this. So
yeah, do you have your whole like everything set up on a schedule? Do you write it down the night before, or what's that look like for your entire day?
I used to, but
now
it's
it's
so automatic now that I'm a robot when it comes to it. You know what I mean? Like I already have my clothes for tomorrow set.
And it's a Sunday
right now. Yeah.
And you're not working.
And I'm not working.
Yeah, because
like
it's still every day.
I already know what I got planned for tomorrow. This is, and everything's set up already. You know what I mean? So like, and that's another thing that just to take that worry off of your mind too. So now when you do wake up the next day, you're going to be tired and you don't have an excuse like, oh, I couldn't find this. And you know what I mean? Or your gloves or this. You got everything. Grab your keys, go, dude. Just get out of the door. That's the hardest part.
Exactly. Just get out. Because once you're there.
Yeah, dude.
Once you're there, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, man. You know, just follow whatever somebody else is doing.
Yeah, I have that problem with is especially like working in this kind of schedule that we have at nighttime too. It's like putting out the clothes the night before, but I guess the answer to that is just to do it before you're going to work at night.
Yeah.
But I get that like, oh no, I'll do it all in the morning. And then it's like
you never do it all in the morning.
You never do. So you literally have to prepare for that morning the night before.
Yeah. Or you forget stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then you get to the gym like, oh, I can't do this because I didn't bring my sneakers.
Yeah.
I came in my finger size.
These are good for your feet. At least I'm not wearing my flip-flops on this episode.
Yeah.
So, but all right, man, to wrap things up here, Cleon, you got any other questions?
Well, yeah, I mean, JR, first of all, thank you for being here with us, man. We appreciate you. So for you, talking about this topic of discipline, mind, body, and spirit, what do you feel like is the most important takeaway that you can give somebody else to get into a lifestyle like this and to remain consistent with it?
Believe in yourself, right? Obviously, that sounds very cliche,
right?
But you got to, you know what I mean? Because if you don't first believe in yourself, then you're not even going to be motivated to try anything,
Absolutely.
Right? So, and just be open-minded to it and try it little by little. You know, you don't have to jump into the deep end at first. You can walk into the shallow end first, you know, start by making little adjustments, you know, the night before, just have your stuff prepared. Don't wake up 2 hours ahead of what you usually do, creep into it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you know what I mean? And just, it's not going to happen overnight. Like I'm only saying it, I'm talking like this because I've been doing this probably like serious for 10 plus years, you know what I mean? To where it's just, this is what I do, you know what I mean? So if it's new to you, it's hard. I get it.
Right.
There's going to be days that you don't want to, this is and that. But at the end of the day, like we talked about, you're only lying to yourself. You're only hurting yourself. And think about what you want your life to look like 5-10 years. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to look the same as it does right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And whether you do something about it now or you don't, it's going to look two completely different ways 5 years, 10 years from now. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that leads me to one more question too that I want to ask you since we got to this whole topic is like, how has like adopting the principles of mind, body, spirit, how has that changed your life?
Significantly, bro. Honestly, you know what I mean? Because now it gives me more of a purpose to get up in the morning and want to do what I do. Because I was already doing that before, but now it gives me more of a purpose. You know, my connection spiritually, I mean, that obviously goes a long way too. You know, I believe that those conversations that I've had have
come to
been
fruition.
Fortunately enough to bless me, you know what I mean? And continue to. And I just think that without that, man, you know, you got to trust in something, you know what I mean? You got to have that faith and whatever it is that you think it is. I mean, just ride with it and and just be true to yourself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, with what we were talking about, you know, you go through a storm, you're in a storm, or you're heading out in one. So it's like whatever stage in life that you're at right now, man, if you have those mind, body, and spirits, if you have those things aligned, like honestly, you feel like a lion.
Yeah,
man.
it's the foundational.
It's crazy.
Foundational things that hold you together. So no matter what life throws at you, what kind of adversities happen,
right,
you're going to be good.
It's crazy
because your foundation is good.
Right.
It's crazy. So it gives you a lot of power, honestly. It truly does. It gives you power over yourself. And when you have power over yourself, you can control your outcome, right? Because event plus response equals your outcome.
There it
right?
is. So there it is.
E plus R equals O, right? So as long as you keep that real estate in there sharp, you know what I mean? Whatever you got to deal with, man, you'll be able to deal with it.
There we go. Brandon, what's your biggest takeaway for what we have here?
Biggest takeaway for me with mind, body, spirit is to have that consistency compound. And just like JR was saying, it's important to not bite off more than you can chew. You know what I'm saying? Just don't start trying to wake up at 4 a.m. because when I started doing it way back then, you know, it was a lot of inconsistencies of showing up and then not showing up. Start small, like he was saying, and let that consistency compound over time. Fail forward. You're going to fail. You're not like, it's a muscle. Everything's going to be a muscle that you're going to be building into. So be okay with failing and just fail forward. Like let it happen to you and keep moving forward. And then just have bite-sized chunks, like JR was saying. Maybe just start with getting your day set up the night before. Get your day set up the night before. Then wake up 10 minutes earlier. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. 5 push-ups. Then you increase it to 10 push-ups, 20. Then you increase it to a 5-minute workout. Then you increase it to a 10-minute workout. Whatever it may be, do it in bite-sized chunks, but have it planned out. And just let that consistency compound. And you'll be surprised over the next 5 years how much your life is going to change just by adding small increments to that morning routine.
Right. Good. Yeah.
How about you, Mr. Cleon Deal? What's your takeaway?
So kind of piggyback off you, like you said, starting small, number one. Even if it's the little things like we're talking about getting up earlier, but even if it's as simple as if you don't make your bed every morning, just start with that, right? Start with making your bed every morning. Start with making sure you're getting up early enough to get to work on time, not within the grace period before they tell you that you're late, on time. Make sure you get up earlier so you don't have to, so you can eat breakfast before you leave the house. Just little things, right? Compounding into big things to create good habits. Then from there, talk yourself into it until you have to talk yourself out of it, right? Talk yourself into going to the gym, talk yourself into working out, talk yourself into praying every single day, talk yourself into reading every single day until you have to fight with yourself to actually do it, fight with yourself to not do it, right? And basically, I think with a combination of those things, you'll put yourself in a better position now and obviously in the future. Like you guys, like you were talking about, you were planning for kids you didn't have yet, and that's what you wanted because you had a future that you wanted. So you started doing things now to set yourself up. So it's that sort of thing because like you said, you did what you were already doing, but then you had a family now, and now your why's bigger. So it gives you more of an opportunity and more of a purpose to do it. So start now because later you're going to have things that you're actually going to want to do it for. And it's going to be a lot harder to do it then if you don't do it now. And then lastly, I just want to leave with a quote here by, I'm going to try to say this name right, Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah, no, he's good.
Sound like a rapper.
Yeah. He's
yeah, I don't think he's. The integration of body, mind, and spirit is the path to wholeness.
That's fire.
I like that. Yeah.
Short and sweet, baby.
And to finish off, this is going to be around Christmas time, so Merry Christmas. We appreciate you guys tuning in.
Absolutely.
Check out that book by Aubrey Marcus, Own Your Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus, and then another one that also goes more into spirituality. I know I recommended it before, but The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Great book.
That quote reminded me of it. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much, JR, for being here. As always, Mr. Cleon Deal. And we'll see you next time on another episode of The Real Deal Podcast. Thank you guys.